in.
All right, welcome back to the live. We are entrepreneurial. We are Allegra Jackson, the Marketing Medulla, and Coach Ari, the mindset expert and clarity strategist. We are here for entrepreneurial cycles, the truth about business, and we've been talking about some truths that may be hard to swallow, but it's okay. I think it's really important to understand, and it's funny because I was just saying, to Aarionna that there are some things that I was just discussing, just even in this past week, just talking about the truth. Even the truth hurts, right? Even talking about the truth really hurts. It gets you in a space where you have to be realistic about what it means to you, what things are happening to you and for you. And so we talk about this a lot when we have these conversations about things that are really happening to you all, things that have happened to us in the past. We constantly are very realistic about our struggles in entrepreneurship because it is very real, especially as women entrepreneurs. I believe in creating a whole new ecosystem for entrepreneurs when it comes to women because we, I think, do business differently. I was looking at some statistics and it was talking about how as Black women, we are the best select candidate for entrepreneurship because we have like literally overcome so much in our own personal lives that we can do more in business than anybody. And I mean, listen, this is just from a data report. I'm not saying I said it, but I really want to make sure that we all get a chance to talk about these struggles and really be honest about what it means come to your emotions, your money, deciding on what your business is going to look like, and I myself, Allegra the Marketing Medulla, I am a business coach. So as a business coach and a marketing strategist and also a business analyst, I really do love working with women entrepreneurs to make sure that you have the structure to your business. That foundation is so important. If you don't have a business plan, I'm sorry to say you are missing a lot of elements in your business. Myself and Aarionna were just talking about things as simple as who is your target audience? That is a basic principle that you put in your marketing mix. And when you're writing out your business plan, you're identifying these things. And that's why it's so important to really get into that planning process. And so I support my clients through my coaching programs through that. Also making sure you have a marketing strategy so you know exactly how to target that audience, not just know them, but target them into making sure you get a sale. Getting a sale for your business is one of the most foundational things because guess what? Your business needs money to run. So in order to go ahead and get the sale, you have to learn sales strategies as well and making sure that you also get access to funding. These are all the things that I do in my programs. I also do hourly sessions. So if you want to book that with me and do like a quick draw, that's fine. But there are some qualifiers because if you are not ready to work, okay, and I mean really ready to work, I will definitely pass you on to Miss Aarionna, who is going to get your mind together. And I'm going to pass the mic over to you before we start this conversation.
Thank you so much, sis. I always laugh at her introduction of me. I'm gonna pass you over. But hello, happy Monday. Listen, we are coming so close to 2024 that I think this conversation is more than needed. Because I made a post on my story this weekend, like for us business owners, how we doing? Because baby, if you know, you know, we started 2024 months ago, and it's up and running. So I am Coach Ari, the mindset expert and clarity strategist. I help purposepreneurs, business owners, number one, to get clarity of the mind. I watch a lot of people build these businesses and brands and they have no clarity. It's just a lot of confusion. And you cannot build anything that's sustainable, that's successful, that you're called to, that you feel purpose in. You're not going to see success in confusion. So, really helping you get everything out of your mind, talk it out, really strategize it, and understand what it is that you're trying to do, what direction you're trying to go, so that you can shoot your arrows and actually hit the target. And then that clarity strategist part comes in. Once we get that clarity, now we can start to build an authentic brand. We can start to build what's your brand voice? What are you trying to convey? How do you impact? I'm really, really, really big on impact marketing is what I call it. Of I want to leave a lasting impression on the people that I connect with. And I want to learn, teach people. I teach people how to show up authentically as themselves in a way that does cause that lasting impact, then people investing in you is not a problem. There's so much mentality around it's hard to get money. It's really not. It's really not. But if you're not giving value, if you're not having an impact, if you're not changing their lives in some type of way, then yeah, you're going to struggle. So that is what I do. I'm excited to get into this conversation. I think this one is really important. And if you have a friend, tag a friend, share it on your socials, because we're going to talk about a very important, many important cycles that we do. And I think it's important to be aware before the new year starts, because it is a cycle that we see very, 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 very often. So I'm turning it back over to you so I can go share it.
Okay, well, thank you, Ari. I appreciate that introduction. And yes, Aarionna is going to get your mindset together, because it does take a very strong mind to get through building a business from an idea, from something that you thought up one day and said, okay, let me just put some, some real money into this and start building this up. And a lot of times what we're doing is we're bootstrapping. I know that's a truth, right? That's the number one truth. How many people, I want y'all to tell me in the chat, how many of y'all have bootstrapped in your business? I have. I've bootstrapped in my business. And that means that you've, taken money, whether it's from your job, that you're working, your 9 to 5, and putting it into your business and just funding it, self-funding it all the time, right? Always being the one to put money into your business. But your business is supposed to pay for itself, right? That's the real gag. It's supposed to pay for itself. So when you start to learn how business works and you start to really operate it that way, you start to get a different mindset around, other things. And the truth about it is, for me, it's very difficult to take the emotion out of it, right? So I always start there, especially for women entrepreneurs, because when I started my first business, my biggest thing was, oh my God, I got to show up in these places and I got to talk about my business. And like, what does that look like? Okay. Now we have social media. So to show up on a live, that's like, y'all are crazy. Like, that is the best thing ever. When I started my business, you had to show up in real life. Like, you had to be somewhere where people were. And you had to do it, whether it was a coffee shop or a bookstore, or whether it was like in a parking lot somewhere, right? You had to show up. I remember people used to sell hair and makeup products and perfumes outside of the trunk of their cars in parking lots. And that's how they started their businesses back in the day. T-shirts, right? That's how they started their businesses back in the day. Now you have live platforms where you can just literally jump on a live video like we are now. And I've seen people from other countries, y'all, and they have done things. They have just literally opened up like an auction store and just started like running clothes down the line. Like, who wants it? Who wants it? Who wants it? And people just start buying stuff. So, we've kind of gotten into a world where we have more access to things, but we still have people that are like, oh, I really don't want to do things like that. I really don't want to be on that platform. I don't know if I like it. But if your audience is on a certain platform, why not be there? Right? But that comes from data. And that's why the emotions have to go, because your data is really what people, and this is where my truth comes in. This is where people are afraid, right? Because I was scared. This is where people are afraid to look at their business, because your data will show you how much money your business has. Your data will show you how many people are looking at your business every single day, how many people are actually interested in what you have. Your data will show you if your business is even viable in the market. Like, your business can be a business that is so saturated that most people can't even see you. So you out here thinking, oh, I started a business and it's good because, it's new and it's cute and my logo is cute and my website is cute and you got all these really cute things. But then when you look inside the data and what it looks like in the market, about 500,000 other people have new cute websites and logo designs and things doing the same thing you do out right now too. So what differentiates you from, 500 other thousand people that I'm also looking at, right? I don't know if you've ever been on Instagram and scroll through and all of a sudden you see an advertisement and you're like, oh, that's cute. And then you see another one. Same freaking thing. People are selling the same stuff. And in order for you to be able to differentiate yourself from the masses, number one, I love how Aarionna has talked about impact marketing. Was it? Okay. I love that because, I'm like purpose-driven marketing. We all have our different scopes on like.
Uh-oh. Allegra, can you hear me? You're freezing in and out. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna jump in, guys, because I think it's freezing in and out. If it's me, let me see. Okay. No, I'm on live. I can see me on LinkedIn. All right, so it's freezing a little bit, but just to piggyback and pick up where Allegra was at, yeah, we all have our different methodologies of marketing and just our beliefs, right? Our beliefs, our core values of how we build business and how we go about that. And yes, one of mine is impact marketing. I believe in really getting very clear on how I want to impact the audience in which I am teaching, in which I'm helping, in which I'm pouring into. Because me personally, in my own journey, I've taken coaching programs that were not about impact. They were just about framework, or they were just about the money. They were just about trying to figure out more ways to get your money and not really impact your bottom line, not really impact your business, not really impact what you're doing. And so for me, I've built my brand and my business on impact. I've built it on, it's not about the numbers, but it's about the person that's in that room, that's in my space, that's on that live, that's in, on my social media, wherever I'm at. It is about that person. Are you back? You back?
My computer does not love me, y'all, at all. I don't know what you were saying, but it sounded like it was good. It sounded like it was talking about the numbers,
Yeah,
the
well, I
data.
was saying that we have different methodologies that we build our businesses on based on our core values, on our beliefs, on what we've tested, what we've tried. And for me, it's been more about impact because I've been in programs where they were not worried about impacting my bottom line, who I was as a business owner in my actual business. They were worried about figuring out how to create more programs to take my money. And for me, it was just like I've built my entire brand on, I don't care if it's one person or 1,000, I am going to give them whatever they need from me in that moment that is going to actually make an impact, that's going to make a lasting impression. And I think, you were saying purpose driven marketing. I think as a business owner, you have to figure out what is your mission? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And if it's simply attached to a dollar sign,
Yeah.
you're so missing the point. It's beyond you, because what people fail to realize is people pay people or pay for things that they need, period. And you might be able to get the confused people for a while, okay? Because I was in a confused state myself before in business, and people got my coin. But when they wake up to seeing that this is not helping me, this is not getting me nowhere, you no longer have longevity in clientele. So real quick, I had invested in this coach. I don't know where this coach is to this day. I can't find them. I ain't heard from them. I heard their complete business model just broke down because they were constantly on this wheel of money, 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 money. So they kept creating packages and programs to get our money, and it was trash. It didn't work. It was not for everybody, but they wanted everybody's money. They couldn't manage their team. They couldn't, the systems that they were selling were not functional. They were not in place. Um, they could not deliver on what they promised. And so being a business owner and being in the cycle where you don't know your core values, you don't even know like what's my mission here, and you can't put a face, a name, a belief system to that, you're going downhill fast. And I think a lot of people are doing that because you're being taught create all these products and create all these things and da, 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 but it don't have no value. It don't have no weight. It doesn't have any real purpose because you're not clear on who you are as a business owner. And yes, I understand we all start somewhere, but the excuse that we give ourselves that we all start somewhere in a society where you have so many answers and so many things, directions that you could actually commit to and just see if it works, but we got a commitment issue.
Okay. So the discipline isn't there. And we know that that is definitely a truth about business. Because if you're not disciplined in your real life, you're not going to be disciplined in your business. That's the truth. And that's a hard truth. That's a real hard truth right there. If you're not disciplined in your everyday life, if you're not, and here's what I've come to realize, right? And this is really hard to swallow, because I had to deal with this for a really long time. Like, how am I supposed to be there for my clients if I'm not there for myself in these ways, right? Like, if I'm not, committing to my goals and sticking to them, if I'm not actually setting deadlines and time blocking, how am I expecting my clients to do that? How am I expecting other people to respect my time if I'm not respecting my own time, right? How am I expecting people to respect what I say if I don't follow my own advice? There's just things that I think in truth about business is that the most respectful business owners and people who operate a good sound business. And I was listening to Elon Musk, like I was just looking at a reel that he did, and someone was interviewing him, and they were saying, hey, like, how do you respond to blah, 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 blah. I don't know what they were saying. And you could tell he was a little irritated by the question. Like, what are you getting at? But his response was just really simply, listen, like, I'm not here to rub anybody's, ego. Like, if they're not telling the truth, then I'm not going to cater to that. He said, if they're lying, they're lying. And I'm not going to be the one to enforce a lie, basically, is what he's saying. And there's a lot of times where we're in this business where we're enforcing our own lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I want this type of business, but I'm not the type of business owner yet. So let me just pretend, right? Let me just act like it looks this way. So, and this is why, and I want to talk about this too, because it's something that came up today where I was like, we gotta be really real about the fact that, because I do business planning. So the reason why I really have a passion for it is because I know that a lot of us start at the end, right? We just try to sell something, and people, they'll buy something for a little while, but when you really want to structure business, or you want to create a legacy, like a lot of people say, oh, I want this business and I want to create this legacy and I want generational wealth. There's a lot of things you could do to make that, but a business is one asset. And if you don't decide to take time to really plan that out, it's not going to last. It shows in the statistics, 75% of businesses fail within the first 3 to 5 years. And that was before the pandemic. It's even more now. So now that we're in this space where we're kind of like learning, like, okay, what it takes to have a business, that's when you make a decision. Like, do I want a business or do I not? Okay, that's a good decision, because there are plenty of millionaires that work in corporate spaces. You do not have to own a business to be wealthy. But like to the point that we were saying even earlier, like, money will not solve your problems. And that's really what we're going to get to towards the end of this live. But money is not going to solve your problems. And what we're thinking is that is the case. And I want to talk two parts to that. There's two parts to that. But when we're talking about business planning right now, in this moment, this is where I think the problem starts. This is just where my genius lies, right? The problem starts when you don't make a decision on if you even want to have the business or not, right? Why are you doing what you do? If you can't decide, hey, I'm doing the business because I really want this to grow and I'm really excited about it, and this is something that I believe is going to give me money for the future and I'm willing to put into work. Like, if you're not really committed to this experience, then you're going to, and if your why is not big enough where you can actually see it benefiting you in a huge way in the future, like, this is going to put me on stages, this is going to allow me to build a huge community and I'm going to impact the world. Like, if you don't see things that are that big, yeah, it's easy to give up. So establish and identify your why, but then also know who you're serving and know what you're serving to them. And Aarionna, you brought that up because you were saying, well, I said, well, what's the problem? What's the real truth behind all of this hesitation behind showing up and just being bold about saying, hey, this is what I can do for you, and making an exchange, right? And I was saying that one of the things that came up in one of our clubhouse rooms was someone said that they didn't really know their audience. And I was like, well, okay, well, we got to know our audience in order to be able to talk to them about anything, right? Like, how I know who you are. It can't be everyone, because I can't talk to everyone about just one generic thing that I'm selling. I have to know. But then Aarionna says something and I was like, what'd you say, Ari?
Well, coming from experience, when I didn't know who I was serving, I didn't know what I was serving them. So when you don't know what you're giving, when you don't know what you have to offer, you don't know what your give is, you don't know what value you're bringing, then you can't identify who you serve. I give you a prime example. When I started on Clubhouse, not when I didn't start building my business when I got on Clubhouse, but when I first started building my business, I thought I wanted to help people who went through depression because I went through depression. Quickly figured out that is not what I want to do. Please go see a therapist. I'm not equipped for that. And so then I started offering, I wrote my 21 Days to Mental Freedom. And I was like, okay, let me get a group of women together who are really struggling to just believe in themselves. That's just where I started with. But even in that, like, I at least started somewhere with knowing, okay, I'm going to help women who struggle to believe in themselves because I had something to offer them. And that was what I was saying to Allegra, is that really when you're saying you don't know who you serve, you don't have nothing to offer. There is a space where who you serve may be, may not be as niche down as you want it, but at least you have an idea. You have to have an idea of where to shoot the arrows. You got to have a target. So I was fresh in business, but I knew, like, okay, depression ain't it. Tried that for like a small season, realized no, I'm not equipped for that. No problem. I am equipped, however, to get people to believe in themselves. I know I can do that. I know that I've been doing that. It's just who I am. I wrote 21 Days to Mental Freedom before I decided to go after those people. So I already had my give. So all I had to do was figure out, where do I shoot this arrow? Here's my 21 Days to Mental Freedom. I want to help people women believe in themselves. I have this give, this offer. Where am I shooting my arrow? When you say you don't know your target audience, and I'm not saying you have to be an expert or a guru, or you got to be so niche down that it's just like 25. I'm saying, where are you shooting though? And if you don't know that, it's because you really don't have something to give, or you haven't sat down and got clarity on what you're going to offer, what's your value. That's why I'm so passionate about impact marketing, because for me, when I'm teaching it, it's all about you understanding you first, because you can't help nobody. And that's why we're getting this. Well, I don't know who my target market is. I don't know who, because you don't understand what you give. You don't understand what you bring to the table, which can go really deep, because it really, based on how you raise, your environment, relationships you've been in, it may be that people made you feel like you don't got nothing to give. And you really desire to start a business and you really do have something, but we got to start at, let me get very clear on, what am I good at? What do I offer? And, I've heard some people frame it this way in their programs, like, go ask your family, what do you naturally do? If you're really struggling, go ask people, what do you feel like I'm naturally good at? They may be like, hey, you're really good at helping me organize, or you're really good at helping me figure out the numbers in my budgets and stuff like that. Or, you're really great at being a shoulder to cry on, or whatever. And people don't understand all of those things are valuable, because if you create a community where women can feel safe enough to open up and to just release, and you build a whole brand around the release factor. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna give somebody some real tea. Your brand is called the Release Factor. You do retreats that are just about purifying once a year, but we don't stop to see, what do you even have to offer. So you don't, like I said, you don't have nowhere to shoot your to shoot your arrows. You ain't got no arrows. So you without arrows and you without a target, but you got an idea, which is fine. But do yourself a service of sitting down and say, let me get clear. So I was telling Allegra that there is a such thing as getting clearer, right? As growing. Because now for me, I know I'm really going to go after Christian business owners, purposepreneurs, influencers who want to align their business with godly principles and actually see it work. That's what I have gotten more clear about. But I at least started out saying, I want to help women believe in themselves. And you know what's so funny, Allegra? I was very successful at that. I just want to help women feel better about themselves and believe in themselves. I was very successful. So what people are understanding is, you're trying to reach for the stars. You're not there yet. And I say this to all my clients. Please just coach and pour from where you're at. Stop trying to do what somebody's doing who they've been doing it for 8 years and they've mastered it and perfected it. Just do it from where you're at. And I think we really miss the beauty in the beginnings. because you think you got to be Allegra, who's been how many years in business?
Too many. I don't even want to say it anymore.
Right. But I'm not trying to be Allegra. I am just Aarionna on Aarionna's level, and I make money and I'm successful and I impact. But it's because I didn't start out with the mentality of, oh, I want to make money, so I'm going to copy, so and so style. And no, if we would just be humble enough to start where you're at, if all you can offer is a safe space right now, and you know you want it to grow and develop into something bigger, I've never seen so many people that forget how things work in the world. I've never seen. A seed does not start out as a plant. It just doesn't. But a seed is the most important part of the plant because the plant can't become the plant without the seed. But we just want to come out as the plant. You want to come out as the palm tree. You're not a palm tree. You are a freaking seed. Be really good at being the seed because you are significant. Okay.
Speaking of seeds, yesterday we were given a gift of a mustard seed in the Vision Networking win event that Tamisha put on for us. It was amazing. And I was thinking about that she was talking about that growth process too. Like how we get planted under a little bit of dirt, and that mustard seed is the same as what God says your faith should be. And that was just a symbolism that we used yesterday. And it was really interesting because it's just like a great reminder, because we talked about this several times, of just knowing that, if you have faith in yourself, if you have faith in what you do, if you have faith in your ability, I don't think it takes a lot to develop great ideas. Because here's the truth, right? Let's dig a little deeper. So most of the time, the most successful individuals that come up with these great business ideas, they just, one day they dreamt it and they just did it. A lot of times they saw something in a waking vision and they just did it. They got an idea and they were like, I want to try that out. And they just did it. And throughout that process, whether they failed it the first time or not, which most of the time they failed several times, right? Because every successful entrepreneur that they started out with an idea, they tried it and they failed and they failed and they failed and they failed. But there's not many times where you hear where they just was like, oh, it didn't work. Like, these are the stories that I'm hearing. Like, how long have you tried it? Well, I've only been posting for a couple days. So why are we even asking these questions? The truth is that we're not giving us enough time to even go through a process of trying something out to see if it works. That's a big part of business. Market research is a big part of business. Beta testing is a big part of business. Is not, and that's why, I'm a little conflicted about some of the things I'm hearing in the industry, because these are ways that we're able to identify exactly how we build our businesses, right? This is how we identify how we serve our audience, who our audience is. If you don't know who your audience is, that is a problem, because why are you even in the market? Like what are you there for? Because the only reason why you would want to start a business is because you see someone that has a problem that you want to solve. That's the only reason. And let me tell you where it starts. It starts with you, because you are your first problem. You are most likely the person that needed the solution that you couldn't find. I have so many examples to give y'all. I mean, Kayshawn, if you ever met her in the community, Kayshawn Brooks, she's actually the owner of Renew You Skincare, and she Renew You Body Butters. I'm sorry, Renew You Body Butters, y'all. I'll take that back. And when I looked at, shout out, I got her product right here. Okay. Listen, y'all need to pay me more. Okay. So it's just really one of the things that I feel like we have to tell our story, because a lot of the reasons why people buy stuff is not because of the product, it's because of the story behind it, because of the unconscious buying behaviors that they have. Like, I'm sure you go to Walmart and you just pick up your toothpaste that you buy every single week the same way. You don't go there and go, should I do Colgate or Crest today? No, you just go grab the freaking toothpaste, and most likely it's an unconscious buying behavior. Okay. Same thing with a lot of things that we see in our homes. And so when you build off of brands and brand stories, That comes from you relating to the customer, relating to the audience. And if you're solving your own problem, then the first audience and the first customer is you. It's the most simplest formula I've ever used in my entire life. If you are so confused about who your audience is, why did you even build the solution to the problem that you were probably having, or someone close to you were having? Because that's really what it is, right? You saw a problem and you fixed it, right? Because otherwise, why are you offering something that doesn't work? What'd you say, Ari?
The truth of the matter is you don't know what problem you're solving. You have not solved a problem.
Oh, so then there's no need to even formulate a business. So we're not even in a conversation of having a business then.
No, we're in the infancy stages of, I have an idea. Let me figure out what that looks like. Because again, if you know you're solving a problem, you have to know at the bare minimum who you're talking to. So if I'm a toothpaste company, bare minimum, I'm talking to people who need to brush their teeth. It's like, you got to get what I'm saying. Like, we're saying we're the answer to the problem, but you don't know whose problem. That doesn't make sense. Like,
that's not business. That's a hobby. Okay.
right. Like, I like to do this. So,
Yeah.
to your point, I started doing balloons. I just like to do it. I don't care whoever want to call me and say, Ari, can you do this for? I'm gonna do it. I'm not trying to target nobody. I'm not. It's a hobby. I like it. And if you see, I don't put a lot of energy in it. I'll post for certain seasons because it is a hobby. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I don't care about building a business plan. I'm not trying to figure out my target audience. Everybody is. If you want to do balloons, baby, I'm here. But it is a hobby.
So here's the question then, because the truth about business is that the business is made to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the truth? If we're talking about the infancy stage, which I mean, that's for me, a hobby is listen, that's a hobby. A hobby is a hobby. A business is a business. There's just no intertwining.
There's no meshing this together.
Honey, stay over there. There is no, so if you have a hobby that you love to, and this is a lot of people, and this is what we do, especially us, when we are creatives and, we love to help people, us servers, right? We're like, oh, I just love serving people. I just want to help you. Okay. Well, that's a hobby. You just love helping people, right? That's a hobby you picked up. Now, whether that's an expensive hobby or not, that's totally up to you. Because here's the thing, a lot of us have expensive hobbies that we're calling a business. And we're mad because we're like, okay, I just spent all this money doing this and nobody paid me anything and nobody, gave me no kudos. And now you want to make it look like a business because now you're putting like, a Google My Business page up and now you want people to give you reviews and you ain't do nothing. Like, what did you do? So it's very weird because what you just brought to the table is really kind of an insanity of what people think when they're like, okay, well, yeah, I want to have a business, but why? Because if the reason is because your hobby is too expensive, that ain't a good reason. Go to the bank, get a personal loan and take care of your problems. But if you are like, I want to have a business is going to require you to understand how to get the support you need. So you're not overlapping your funds. So you're not using your personal funds for your business. So you're not using your business funds for your personal. So it's going to actually understand how to divide and how to build your relationship with money. It is not going to be there to make you rich because you just like, oh, I want to have a business and, I'm tired of paying for this hobby. And a business seems like people are getting rich having a business. So let me do that. Get rid of that mindset because I believe that this is some of the truths that I've experienced. And this is where I end because we got 10 minutes to the end of the hour. Social media glamorized having a business in the pandemic so much so that I'm still talking to people that feel like they can actually operate their business only on social media. And this is not true. Okay. Now you can make money and you can actually have a digital platform and you can definitely, grow as a brand. But, a business constitutes you being able to be established in a lot of different ways. And when people want to work with you, like say you do like a business to business contract and they're like, hey, Aarionna, Freedom Riders, That's what's up. Let's do some business together, right? They're going to look at the overall business. They're going to look at the valuation. They're going to look at how expansive you are. They're going to look at what relationships you've built. Is it only digital, or are you really out there in the world where people know and see you, right? And so I want people to really think about their business, and if it is really, something that they're investing their time, money, and energy into the right way. Because the first place of knowing your audience, if you're very confused about that, go to that drawing board. That's just, this is where I'm at. Go to that drawing board and start thinking about that. And if you are way beyond that, if you're like, oh, I can't even think about that because I don't even know if it's a hobby or a business, go to Aarionna. And I want you to figure out what it is that you want to do. Because the truth is that if, maybe you don't want to do a business, maybe you want to just do something that fulfills your life and makes you extra income on the side. There's lots of freelancing. There's lots of, extra gig work. Child, I did gig work for years. There's a lot of things out there that you can do to make the money that you want to make. But the truth about business is that you're going to have to do the work to build on something that's not only going to meet your bottom line, but it's going to build the wealth, not just for you, but for other people. Because eventually you do want to build that thing, not just by yourself. Okay. You want to have people helping you, and that may require you having staff, payroll, right? So these are the truths that are coming out today. Aarionna, back over to you.
Like I said, I think it's a powerful conversation, that we will continue. Of course, is even talking about the whole money thing, and you're building something just for money, money, money. And you just kind of hit on that too. Like, there's so many ways to make money. Being an entrepreneur and a business owner, y'all, you don't got to put yourself through all that stress to go make money. Go find you some less stressful ways, some less mentally exerting way. Like, there's a lot that comes with this, in the sense of you got to give it your all. There's ways to make money where you really don't even got to think much. You could just answer phones and just do whatever they tell you to do. You ain't got to think. You ain't got to come up with the plan, the strategy, the marketing, nothing. You just answer phone, say what they tell you to say, click some buttons, and you can make money.
No, Charles. Well, I'm sorry. Real quick, Ari. I saw some jobs out there for y'all. Listen, I was about to take on the task of seeing if I could do this thing, because they have jobs where, how they say you take an audio and you just write down and you edit what the audio is saying. You just literally I'm like, are y'all serious? They paying y'all money for that? Child. I'm sorry, you're on mute.
My bad. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because it's something that somebody else doesn't want to do. And I'm here for it, bro. Like, listen, if I get to a place where I don't feel like editing, I will pay you to come edit, please. Because I don't want to. So the point is, there's ways to make money. If we're building a business, though, there's some cycles we got to break ourselves out of that have become so normal. I watch how normal that people make the conversation of confusion. And it's so bothersome to me, because why would you want to live your life in such a confused space? Confusion breeds chaos. Confusion breeds fear. Confusion breeds identity crisis. Confusion breeds so many things that are contrary to your goal, that I don't understand why we become so casual with confusion. And it's a trick of the enemy. It really is, because what the devil knows is you ain't going to get no further than you've been. I don't care how many Happy New Year's you say. I don't care how many vision boards parties you go to. I don't care how many notebooks you get. And I don't care how many things you write. If you are comfortable with confusion, you will be where you are. And it's no sweat off the devil's back, because he knows you ain't going to go no further anyway. And so it really is a testament to us to sit down. And I do it in my own business. What have I been saying I'm going to do, and ain't did yet? What have I been talking about for too long and ain't no manifestation came to it? It's insanity. This doesn't make sense. And so evaluating, what are you really doing here in this business? What is it that I really offer? What do I really have to offer the world? What is the clear, honest, authentic space that I want to be in, that I know I can give my all? And if it is a business that I want to build, I have to have that clarity. But like I said, this comfort with confusion is stagnating, it's killing. And so many people are building businesses out of it, that's why I say the coaching industry is a mess, because the confused won't sit down and get clarity. Do you understand that some people go into the working world, the 9 to 5 world, and they take what they're good at, their purpose, and just find a job that feeds that? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is not about, if I don't start a business, I can't be in my purpose. That's a lie. I like coaching. I like training. When I worked at Prairie View, I trained and mentored students. If I wanted to, I could say, bump the business. I'm going to go get a career in training and development because I enjoy pouring in and I can do something with that. I'm going to go get a career in mentoring college students or younger. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and money's not an issue. But I know that there's something bigger for me. So this mentality of the only way for me to walk in my purpose is to build a business is a lie. That's not true. You can go find a career that allows you to be utilizing your purpose. But at the end of the day, figure it out. Because I'm going to tell you this, 2024, do not waste your time doing something that you're not clear about. I'm begging y'all. Now, y'all going to do whatever y'all want to do, okay? And we're going to be able to tell, because me and Allegra sit back and we be like, still in the same spot, still in the same place. Like, God dog it, Lord. So it's very evident when you're making a decision based on your pride, based on your lust of money, based on the greed, based off of a poverty mentality, where you're at. But I do beg all of us to sit down before 2024 and really get clear on, is this what I want to do, what I need to do, what I should be doing? And how am I going to take it to the next level? And that next level may be, I don't want to build a business. I just want to build a career where I'm fulfilled. Then, baby, there are coaches out there that teach you how to get careers and apply for the jobs that pay you what you're worth and allow you to use your expertise on a large scale to where you can feel fulfilled. But for the love of all business owners, if this not for you, get out the game so that the ones that it is for can actually do what we're called to do and transform lives. And also so that you can go do what you're called to do and transform lives. And I think when we take off this, and I'm wrapping up here, when we take off this picture of what it has to be, we've made 9 to 5 so bad, so bad. Like, oh my God, you got a 9 to 5? How dare you? And it's really not that. I don't like working for somebody else. I know what God called me to do. Okay. There's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5 world. It's just not for me. But I am fully aware what that statement means. It means, Aarionna, you're going to have to bust your behind. You're going to have to work this business. You're going to have to get some things in alignment. You're going to have to get your taxes together. You're going to have to get this. Like, I am fully aware that I am saying that I don't want to live the life where I could just go to work and somebody tell me what to do. And it's, most I got to do is people. And I'm saying I want to take on the other side. There is no picture perfect way to do it. And I think if we understand that purpose is not only utilized in building a business, I think that's what it's become, right? Like, oh, if you want to walk out your purpose, you got to build a business. That's not freaking true. Like, please throw that out your brain so 2024 could be the year for you. Okay? I want 2024 to be the year for you. And to be honest, like Allegra said, if you want to figure that out, please book a call with me. I will go through it with you, baby. I'll help you get the clarity. Should you go, let's find you a 9 to 5 that will fit and suit who you are, or let's do this thing and let's build this business. But
yeah,
let's figure that out.
Yeah, you made a good point. Most of them, every successful entrepreneur that I've researched, come across, have all gone back to 9 to 5s, have all started over several times. Even Pinky Cole, I met her myself, y'all, getting up there in the upper echelons. But when I met Pinky Cole, I was like, listen, this is the vibe for me. I'm in the places where I need to be. Okay. Around people who are going to introduce me to play, like I'm looking for my Tyler Perry experience. I'm looking for my Oprah experience, right? So now that I'm like listening more to like their stories and doing my research on like, okay, let me get ready, because if I get back in the room, honey, sweet child, I need to know what I need to know. And that's why I said knowing the brand of a business is more important than just, these products and services and stuff we're talking about. That's really the truth, because if Pinky Cole decided to do something else, we following her wherever she go. And I think that when I'm same thing, Beyonce, Rihanna, right, Oprah, we following them wherever they go, we going. And I think it's so important to recognize that if you look at their stories, they all failed miserably throughout their lifetime when they were starting the business. Pinky was just saying how, because she was just featured on the Kelly Clarkson show, and she was talking about how, we shame the 9-to-5 space, to your point, but yet and still we need it, because her business burned down. She had one of her stores burned down and she didn't have any money in the bank. She couldn't afford to live. So she was just like, what do you do? So she was able to get a job with a company that really got her back on her feet. Right. And while she was there, she was able to re-strategize and say, well, what is it that I'm going to do differently this time? And if we're really serious about a business, we'll take that time to give ourselves that moment of reckoning, right? Like, okay, this is what I need to do. Maybe I didn't do it right the first time. I think a lot of the truth really does lie around us being truthful with ourselves every single day and every moment of the day, like really checking ourselves. And I do this a lot now. Even in my personal life, and this is just something that you have to be very mindful of what success looks like to you. So to Aarionna's point, like a lot of times we're not happy because we're like, oh, I want to quit my job and start a business, but that's not really what success looks like to you. Like you just think that, it's going to give you all this freedom or whatever you really want. But business doesn't always give you freedom of time. In the beginning, when you build a business, honey, you're going to be spending all your time building this business. You're going to be like night and day trying to figure it out, getting stuck. Technology is going to kick you in the butt, right? You're going to be like, okay, I didn't know it was going to require all of this. So we got to be realistic about it. So if you're working on, that idea and you're just stuck in this hobby phase and you're just like, I really don't know what I want to do yet. Yeah, go to Aarionna. Get yourself together, get your mind right. If you're in a space where you're just like, yeah, I'm ready. I really want to build this business and I want to make it structured so that I'm no longer working so hard in my business and being the one always doing it. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't mean that you won't experience failures. You're going to always experience failures. You're going to always have challenges. But as a business coach, I drive you into the momentum of understanding how to get over those challenges quickly, how to be very structured in your approach to make sure that if you make a mistake, you better put everything in place so you don't make that mistake again. Because a lot of this insanity of, okay, well, it happened. Okay, so it happened. So what did you do about it? What did you do to make sure that the next time that comes around, because we get lazy, we get very lazy about structuring our time, being disciplined about our routines, making sure that our business is in place. Because if somebody walks into your business today, would they feel comfortable working with you? Half of the time people say no. So that's where we got to start right there, where making sure your business really has all of those T's crossed, I's dotted. And I have support systems, right? I just partnered up with a couple more people in my programs. And, there are things that we work on, from designing your website to managing your social media, to making sure you have a CRM in place, to making sure you have your logos and your content and your brand design, all these things that people talk about. But we're not going to do anything with you unless you have a business plan in place. That is just the bottom line. And that's what I encourage everybody to do. Get your business plan in place. And if you need support with that and you don't have it together, I'll support you. Ari, make sure you drop your link so they can get with you for, the head knockers, y'all. We got to make sure the head is right. Okay. And we're always working on our professional and mental health. So, so Ari's going to drop her link so y'all can get with her on that. We'll be back next week for another episode of The Truth About Business. We'll do this to the end of the year. And then, of course, next quarter we'll come with something else. So make sure that you let us know in the comments. Let us know in our DMs as well what you're experiencing through this series so that we can support you. And if there's some things that really hit the soul and you feel like that burned a little bit, I didn't like the way you said it, I don't like y'all anymore, I want you to let us know, because this is what we need to know. We need to know where, let us know. We need to know where it hurts, because the truth is that the truth hurts. And if you're feeling a little burned, then it's because maybe we hit some nerves, and we want to go ahead and massage those nerves for you so we can make sure you get the right support. All right. Anything else, Ari, before we get out of here?
No, we'll see you guys next week. Continue to show up. And we love y'all. Tough love is good love.